A few years ago, I was in between jobs and not having all that much to do. I thought I'd rent a camper van and go on a long extended vacation. I ran all the numbers, and while I could have used my savings and flown somewhere nice for a week, with a van I could take a 3 or 4 week vacation. And I wasn't a city person either. I loved nature and wanted to get out and try camping in a slightly safer and more accessible way. I didn't know how I'd feel or if I'd be comfortable being alone in the middle of nowhere with just a tent. But being in a secure metal box with the ability to drive away felt like it'd be better, at least for my first couple of times. Anyway, I got the van and headed north to where all the national forests and free public lands for camping were. The first couple of days of traveling, I ended up staying the night at truck stops, just to sleep and continue driving. I think I was trying a little too hard to have my first campsite be some spectacular place, rather than just paying for a nice campground or something, where I could settle in and figure out exactly what I was doing. But it was on my third day that I finally had a chance to camp in the wilderness. I was on a long stretch of road with nothing but public lands for miles in all directions. There was an app I was using to try to find campsites others had stayed at, and I had a few marked on my GPS, just in case one didn't work out. But what I didn't plan for was that none of them did. Every time I'd reach one of the spots, there was nothing there. No trail, no other campers. Just nothing. I must have driven an hour on this unpaved, rugged road, failing to find any of the campsites I'd picked out. I began getting frustrated, knowing I was getting really far away and it was getting late. I felt like I was racing against the sun, because I knew once it was down, finding one of the seemingly invisible trails would be impossible. I couldn't even go on the app to look up different nearby campsites either, because I no longer had service. I would have had to drive an hour back just to find some more campsites that might not even be there. So I kept driving, and after a while, I happened to barely see a path leading away from the main road. I was already 30 minutes past all the campsites I had marked, and this was the first trail that I'd found. It looked even more rugged than the current road I was on, but the van could definitely fit.